He's a liberal with a microphone, and that makes him dangerous. It's Mike Malloy.
25 before the hour. All right, here you go. Here's some things you can do to put the spirit back into your year-end holiday season, no matter how you celebrate it. But I think especially if you're a follower of the man Jesus, you might be interested in this. You gotta let your family members know this. If you all get together for Thanksgiving, or if not get together, just make phone calls. Happy Thanksgiving, Mom. If you do that, you can tell family members what you expect from them this Christmas and what you're going to do and what you do not want to happen this year. So here's a list to jumpstart your imagination. First, tell them this holiday season, in your home, things they make themselves will be more highly prized than anything they might buy. That's a gentle way of saying, don't buy the crap. Come on. Make me a pot holder. But, make something yourself. Second, if you think you're not handy or you can't make things, cook it or recycle it. And then buy things which other Americans made from local shops, which are American owned and operated. There are all kinds of small businesses right in your neighborhood, especially artisans. For God's sake, help an artist. Next, as an example, buy your gifts from local artists, farmers markets, bakers, craftsmen and craftswomen, candy makers. Try to get gift certificates from local barbers or hairdressers or restaurants or car detailers, gym, local theater tickets. Once you put your mind to it, that list it becomes endless. Fourth, let everyone know, politely but firmly, in no uncertain terms, that mass-produced stuff from Bangladesh or Timbuktu is not acceptable this year. That you're just not going to buy forced labor or sweatshop or slave-produced goods. Just don't do it. And stop listening to these bastards that say that what's wrong with the economy is that people aren't buying stuff from Timbuktu. And it's our fault because we're not going out getting in debt. Tell them to kiss our collective Christmas ass if necessary. Just don't do it. Fifth, this holiday season, share the wealth, what little there is left of it, with those closest to home. Don't support corporations who ship American jobs overseas and which just increases the profits for the scum 1% that we're all supposed to be rebelling against, at least if not in Occupy meetings and campsites, at least in our hearts, right? So if neither this filthy Congress or our very frightened president can create jobs in America, show them how you can pitch in to do your part. Just don't buy from these big corporations. Tell them to go to hell. You can do it. Number 6, it's time that we, the 99%, begin taking care of ourselves. And the best way to cut out the middleman, the top dogs, the fat cats, and the foreign producers who run out-of-sight sweatshops using child labor is to ignore the bastards. Seriously. Spend your money where it stays in America, where it circulates in America, where it creates jobs in America. This is not hard stuff, truth seekers. And that goes down even to things like Christmas wrappings made overseas. Yeah, you ever notice that? And you notice how cheesy and crappy it is? Now, come on. If you're over, I don't know, pick a number, 40. If you're over 40, remember the Christmas wrapping when you were a kid? And then look at the Christmas wrapping you used last year, how you try to wrap a box in it and it tears, right? Because ever feel how thin and cheap and cheesy it is? Here's a better idea. Start saving the Sunday comic sections from your newspapers. Not the New York Times, Washington Post. They don't have any, I don't think. I don't know about the Post. But, your comic sections from newspaper. Use that for wrappings for Christmas. It's made in America. It'll be recycled in America. Isn't that a good idea? Next idea, stop shopping at Wally World and these other big box franchise importers who have for decades forced American companies to open plants outside the U.S., exporting jobs for more profit to the 1%. And after they choke on the mass-produced imported stuff they ordered back last summer, you can pick up things at pennies on the dollar after New Year's to put aside for later gifts like birthdays. If they can manipulate the market, so can we. Don't buy it! Let this crap sit there. You know about after Christmas sales? All right, make these rat bastards eat this stuff. You know what I'm talking about. We'll go down to Atlanta and go into a Macy's a week after Christmas. Holy jumping baby Jesus. There are cashmere sweaters in there that in the run-up to the celebration of the baby Jesus, they were selling for $120. Now you can get them for $25. You get my point. Think about that for a second. What happens from December 21st when a sweater costs $125 to January 3rd when it costs $25? What happens to make that happen? Yeah, think about that. Huh? Boycott anything made or sold by right-wing Tea Party financiers like the Koch brothers and Art Pope. They own Roses and Maxway and Value Mart and Super 10 and those are owned by Variety wholesalers. There's a good there are all kinds of lists that you can find online of these right-wing American corporations that produce junk from their overseas plants and then bring it back into this country and put it out there all shiny and plasticky and you know with colored lights on it. Here, buy this, buy this, buy this. Don't. Next idea, get to know your extended neighborhood. People right here at home who spend their lives making beautiful things, whether they're potters or weavers, musicians, glass blowers, book writers, organic farmers, bakers, florists, woodworkers, cheese makers, balloon twisters. I mean, it goes on and on. On and on. Now, another part of all this, of course, is turn off the goddamn television. Turn it off, at least when kids are in the room. Don't look at it, especially this time of year. It is designed to get inside a person's head and just twist reality into just unimaginable shapes and forms that have to do with consuming and buying and getting. And when the consuming or the buying or the getting can't occur, then there's guilt, anxiety, fear, hatred. My God. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Another idea, buy used things. Used things? Sounds like Herman Cain. No, think about this for a second. Buying used things sends no profit back to the manufacturer, no matter where. Doesn't make any difference. It's right up the street or in China. No profit goes back to the manufacturer when you buy used stuff. Yard sales, thrift shop, friends. You know, when you do that, you're sending nothing back to China. And you're supporting people right here in the U.S. Next thing, during the Great Depression, which my parents lived through, so did my grandparents, so did yours. They survived by doing exactly this and more. You know, just buying locally, buying used stuff, buying old stuff. When new was not available or not affordable, they repaired, fixed up, repainted, and made usable things out of discards. I can remember, you know, I've told Kathy the story, and she just looks at me and gets tears in her eyes and says, "Oh, my God, it's like you were the children in the Christmas Carol." I said, no, there were times when I was a kid. I remember one year in particular, we couldn't afford a Christmas tree. So my two younger brothers hung out down at the corner in Toledo. It was a corner gas station on our street. And they'd set up a Christmas tree lot there, somebody had. And my two brothers went down there on Christmas Eve and begged the owner for all the branches that had been cut off and had left behind. People didn't take with them to make garlands or wreaths or whatever. And my two little brothers, I think they were 7 and 9 or 8 and 10 at the time, they got armloads of these branches. I had left home by this point. I just, I know the validity of this story. But they took all these armloads of Christmas tree boughs and branches and took them in the alley behind the house where they had a 2x4. And very meticulously, they took hammer and nails that they got out of my old man's toolbox, and they nailed these branches onto this 2x4, this 6-foot length of 2x4. Nailed branches on until they had they had built a Christmas tree. And then on the bottom of that 2x4, they nailed 2 pieces of wood crosswise to each other so the thing would stand up. And then they took it up into our little tiny apartment, and lights that were left over from a couple years before, they draped over this tree. Well, when I saw that, it was at once heartbreaking, but also I had to admire my two little brothers, because even though there was no money for a Christmas tree, they made one.